This is one of those things that I think is really important to do every so often and should never be seen as a failure, the fact that you need a reset, because we all we all let our habits slip. It's so normal. It's part of being a human being, and we all go a bit off track, and we just have to recourse ever so slightly. But we need to be doing this regularly because say if I heard an analogy, I think it was on a podcast, it was on some sort of podcast, and they were talking about a plane and how important it is the plane needs to be going directly on track. And if they go 1 degree off, by the time they get to the end destination, they are miles away from where they should be. So, say if we're 1 degree off right now, just a little recourse, and then we get straight back on route. So that is the point of these 7 days, and you can literally do them whenever. And I think it's important actually to regularly implement this kind of thing in your year. So you could even save this sheet, use it later in the year, or just kind of create your own sort of version, but really, really important to do. And I think when we don't do this kind of thing, so say we've been out of routine for a while, or we've been feeling our habits have been slipping for a while, getting back into it and into a good habit feels like a massive brick wall. It feels like a huge brick wall. So the faster we can do this and draw a line, the better. And if you're looking at the brick wall right now, the best way to move forward is to smash through that brick wall and just start. Okay, maybe not smash, maybe that's the wrong terminology. If we just start picking at it, basically, we need to make a start. The best way to get anywhere is just to make a start, even if it's messy and even if it's not perfect, even if it looks like a 6 minute core in your pants. Like, fine, great, perfect. I actually shared a little story on my Instagram of what my workouts look like at the moment, and it's literally me in my pajamas early at the weekend because I still wake up early, and then I've got Autumn in there who thinks I'm like brilliant entertainment, and also Harvey's joining me. Like, it's messy, but that's what it looks like in this chapter. That's totally fine because it gets done. Right. Anyway, that's all I want to say on the reset. Let's go. So if you want to start today, absolutely do it. And the accountability post is on the Facebook group, 7 p.m. every single day, whether there's a reset on or not. It's always there. And that's your opportunity to write on the post to say what you're going to do. I've seen it. Everyone else in the group has seen it. Therefore, you have to do it. And it's so important to stay accountable. To make sure that we do the things that we say we're going to do. It's all right telling ourselves in our head, but once we've written it down, told other people, that's where it actually happens, right? Okay, anyway, right? Sounded well bossy then, didn't I? Okay, question number 1. Oh, this is a good one. I've been told it's a good idea to take a creatine supplement for over the age of 60. Is this right? Now, I personally think creatine supplement is beneficial for anyone, so it doesn't matter your age. I think, yeah, there's an argument that it's more important to take as we get older, but actually, I think it's really, really important for anyone. Okay, I wouldn't be putting it in Autumn's like diet, for example, but adults, I think it's important for adults of any age to take. So let's just talk about what creatine actually is and what it's used for. So we use creatine when we need a short burst of energy, so like a HIIT session or if we're lifting a heavy weight. And creatine is actually something that your body makes itself. So it makes about 1 to 2 grams a day. And we also get it from fish and we get it from meat as well. So it's naturally occurring in our body and our bodies actually need it. So if we get a little bit fancy with it, basically our bodies use a currency of energy. So we can think of this like petrol. We put petrol in a car. That is like the currency for cars. Our currency is called ATP. Now, when we start to use some of this currency up, we lose a phosphate, so it becomes ADP. Now, creatine basically gives a phosphate back. So to turn ADP back into ATP, so we're getting energy again to basically keep our muscles going, to keep our body firing. So that's what creatine's job is. It's like, here you go. It donates a phosphate. It gives up a phosphate, and that allows our muscles to keep contracting, to keep working, to keep firing up, keep going with these big bursts of energy for whatever we're doing. Now, with supplementation, the most widely researched and cheapest supplement is creatine monohydrate, and you're better off just taking it in a powder, about 3 to 5 grams a day, depending on the size, depending on, you might want to start small, you might want to increase it, but 3 to 5 grams, it's so small. And that's what you want to do. It doesn't matter what time of day you take it, just taking it. Now, what you will find is that your recovery will be improved from workouts. So that means, if you're trying to maintain and maybe even gain some lean muscle mass, that will be improved. There's also, very excitingly, some new research about the cognitive benefits of taking creatine. What you will notice as well in the very, very short term is just as you just start to take it, so the first like 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks, there's a little bit of water retention, but that's normal and that goes. So if you are somebody who weighs yourself, just know that there might be, 1 or 2 pounds of water retention for the first 2 or 3 weeks. It's just water, that's all it is. Then it goes. So why would you want to take this then as we get older, and why is it more important as we get older? So creatine is actually stored in our muscles. 95% of it is stored in our muscles. As we get older, if we don't do anything about it, of course, our muscle mass decreases. So our storage capacity actually declines. And there's also an argument that our body becomes less efficient at actually making creatine as well. So therefore, it's always useful to supplement with it. So yeah, there's only benefits to taking it actually. So go for it. Why not? Give it a try. And please note as well, it takes a little while for you to really feel and see the benefits. So probably about 4 weeks. So just take it once a day for 4 weeks and see how you get on. And just be very, very wary if you take it in like a gummy form. It's not necessarily as effective. Just standard powder is great, and however you want to take that. Some people put it in a little bit of water and just down it down it like a shot. Okay, question number 2. What would be the best pelvic floor exercises to add strength? Okay, so let's talk about what the pelvic floor is and also how to engage it first, and then we'll talk about, once we've done those things, what we can do to improve strength in our pelvic floor. So firstly, our pelvic floor it describes the muscles that are at the base of our core, the base of our pelvis. So for ladies, it's going to basically hold in our bladder, it's going to hold in our bowels, it's going to hold in our uterus. It's there at the base, holding everything. It's so important to work your pelvic floor. And when we go through different stages as a woman, so say as we go through perimenopause into menopause, if you have children, and then whether you have a C-section or a natural birth, your pelvic floor is still affected, and those kind of things can weaken a pelvic floor. Also, a lot of high impact, so like running, can weaken the pelvic floor as well. So it's so important to work the pelvic floor, and that's what it is. It's like a hammock. How do we engage the pelvic floor? So how do we engage those muscles? You want to think about stopping the flow of pee and stopping yourself from passing wind at the same time. So you do those 2 things, and that is going to engage the pelvic floor. But you want to do it without tensing up your legs or tensing up your butt cheeks. It's just like a light engagement. There are a few exercises that you can do. So you've got Kegel exercises, and that's where you literally hold it. So you could do, say, hold it for, no one would have any idea that you're doing it, by the way. So you could hold it for, say, 3 seconds and then increase that to 5 seconds, maybe even all the way up to 10, and do that 10 times, 3 times a day. You could do something like that. And then you could do some short ones after, so like literally lift, release, lift, release, lift, release, 10 to 20 times. If that seems like, oh, do you know what, Lord, I just don't do it right now, that is so far from where I'm actually at, just maybe make it something that you do when you brush your teeth. So just, you can literally do your pelvic floor exercise when you brush your teeth or when you stop at lights in the car. Just find a time in your day where you can weave it into your routine, and then it just becomes something that you do. Really important to do. Also, something you could practice, something called the knack, is where you engage your pelvic floor before you're going to do anything like coughing or sneezing. And that can really help, because obviously there's a big downwards force when we do those kinds of things. And then everything else is going to be all the muscles that support your pelvic floor and work in conjunction with your pelvic floor, which are your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings. So doing things like squats, like clams, like bridges, like deadlifts, all those good stuff. So basically anything we kind of do in booty band, anything that we do in Pilates, those classes are really important. Anything in lower body strength, and stronger kind of covers that as well, in our lower body in the lower body track, but more specifically, the booty band and the Pilates stuff is going to be great. And in Pilates, when we do the Pilates breath, we lift up through the pelvic floor at the same time. So you're basically doing the Kegel exercise all the way through.